Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are at Herttoniemi, or Herttoniemi metro station, and we're going to build Helsinki bus line number 59, which runs from Herttoniemi to Kannelmäki. It originally ran from Herttoniemi to Kalasatama, but after the railroad tramway between Helsinki city center and Kalasatama, or Pasila and Kalasatama was built, it was replaced with a new terminus. And how I will start this is that I will actually create the eastern highway running out of the city center, because we're going to need that shortly. And while the terminus at Herttoniemi is, well, for this line it's in a different place, I will place it in here. So this is the terminus. The buses leave their passengers, they take them out from here, and then they embark on a new line. And this nice little loop here is done like this. Well, as you can probably understand from this intro, I know this area of town once again pretty well. These are ordinary city roads that we'll build over here. And like that. And like that. And then this interesting traffic solution requires a bit more creativity, but we will get to that creativity a bit later on. So there. Because then there is a single track bridge around the highway. Like that. There is another single track bridge around this highway. Like that. And these two are connected with, oops, not like that, are connected with each other. It looks like a roundabout, it isn't a roundabout. That's all you have to know about it. Then let's create signals. And this stop is actually used by quite many buses, so there will be a traffic jam. This is actually the first one of the, let's say, risky points that might arise in my network later on as the buses enter this area, because there are a lot of buses running from Herttoniemi. And then we make the ramps to the ring road. One from here. And there actually is a bus stop somewhere in there, but I have just refused to care about things that much. So then we'll probably need to move that one lonely signal to a better place, like that, and also add signals along this construction. Oops. Because a lot of long distance buses use this track too when they leave the city. Why did I make it that far, by the way? Because I might need. Well, no, that's my issue. That's my issue, and we'll get to that later on. That's still the ramp. And there. I think this end is now in order. And we can move on to the following stop. That took some time. Which is Skipparlahti, Skepparviken. I will just have to readjust my map 1 second. And indeed, it's located before that turn, so the following stop is called Tupasaari, although it's located very close to the Kulosaari metro station, but it's anyway in here. And the Kulosaari stop is in reality located a bit further that way. But I will place it here because all the other Kulosaari stations are in the same place here. Then what do we have? We have, of course, Kalasatama. Which is located we already have the stop. And that's where existing tracks merge with new ones. Then we have this bus stop over here. But from there, amazing. The traffic actually continues on a bridge. Yes. even this stop is connected with the nearby station. This place is a mess in terms of traffic. I always have difficulties driving here. But let's make it like this. Oops, yeah, it's no longer a 70 kilometers an hour road. It's gonna be in the city network now, so the speed is actually a bit slower. Like I said, this part of town is a traffic mess. Let's not let that bother us. Let's treat this as an ordinary. And then we have the Junatie stop, which is over there. Now I don't have to look at maps anymore. Or well, with this stop I don't have to look at maps. Let's put it that way. And guess what? We will be meeting with the tram tracks again. And then we will follow the tram tracks through Jämsänkatu, through Asemapäällikön katu, through Pasilan asema, through Esterinportti, through Eevanmäki, through Uutiskatu, and through Ilmalanguja. And in here we will see the following changes take place. And the first change is that the track merges with this track over here. Whoa, that was a strange turn of events, wasn't it? Oops. This junction here is wrong. Now it's correct. And then we'll obviously stop next at Hakamäenkuja. Ruskeavarikko. And then we'll go on here. Okay, there is an issue with this crossing. Let me see. Issue rectified. No, it wasn't. Now it is. Talontie. And then we next... Actually, it's not happening this way, but actually we're next joining tracks with the tramway in here, and let's kind of pretend it's that simple. So what happens the other way around is that the tramway joins this crossing here. Just like that. And once again, this doesn't happen really like this in real life, but I will just make things a bit simpler. And then we have Kutomotie, Takomotie, Talin siirtolapuutarha. And while the tram tracks continue that way, the train tracks, they turn this way. And it seems that everything is okay because the following stop is Pitäjänmäki, or the station of Pitäjänmäki. And let me see, then it turns right and it stops at Jännetie and at Kokkokallio, just following this previously created line. But then the changes come, and it doesn't turn that way to Aittatie. It stops at Vähäntuvantie. After the crossing now, let me find that crossing. And then we have, is that it? Hillstuvägen. Then we have Tähkätie, Axvägen. And then Riihipellontie, Riiuokkasvägen, and then it's Ristipellontie, Korsokkasvägen, not very far from the end now. Okay, so then we're going to cross it over there. This is of course interesting. I forgot this thing was a thing. But of course, once again, I'm not very familiar with this part of the town. That's an interesting turn of events. So we'll stop at Hankasuontie. And then what happens is that there is another stop called Naapuripellontie, which is another field. Nabuängsvägen. So that part of the synergy wasn't very long between those two lines, but then we'll just find another line because the following stop is Helsinki, Sevägen, and that's already been created. Bingo. And it's Helsinki, it's Pihkatie, and it's Neulastie. I think. Yes. And this is, guys, where it all ends. There is just a small loop, which I will once again create a defying reality bit. I just wanted to make the loop there. That's enough defying reality for today, but that's, yes, that is done for. So the line has been created, or the tracks have been built, and now it's time to create the line. So it starts at here. Well, this blue isn't really what it's supposed to be. Let's make it darker. That's better. So quite a strange line. It did open a lot of new sections of traffic, but in the end, there perhaps weren't that many of them, because quite many have already been operated by other lines, and this was a bit surprising, perhaps for myself too, that it turned out to be so simple. I expected more building work, but I also do not, I absolutely do not mind. And that's the way it works. Brilliant. Just brilliant. And I think even this line runs every 10 minutes, so it's quite a lot of buses to be bought, because it's not the shortest lines. But, well, there we go, guys. The line is ready. And as I said, the timetable is it is every 10 minutes. It is every 10 minutes, so let's start buying trains. Again, we need quite many of them. A few more. 2 more, perhaps. One more, perhaps. And there it is. Line 59 is ready. And the thing is now that I've created all the lines with the, or all the 50 series lines, meaning east to west traffic in Helsinki. Now we'll be in the next video, probably. I will not promise you anything yet, because I might change my mind, but probably will move on to the 60s lines, which will run along the Tuusulanväylä road in Helsinki. So there is the Helsinki is divided into sectors by roads, and the bus numbers sort of are connected with this. But that's the business of next video, and the only thing left for me to say to you is bye.